Today on the channel, we dive into some giants and even some hairy bipedal creatures in Classic Superstars Series 16, Sycho Sid and Giant Gonzalez.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Jack's Classic Superstars unboxing and review. And today, we've got from Classic Superstars Series 16, Sycho Sid and Giant Gonzalez. And of course, for all your modern day wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. And today, two giants of the squared circle here, and one of my all-time favorites in Giant Gonzalez. Obviously not the best wrestler of all time, but you guys know I love my hairy bipedal creatures, especially wrestlers that are hairy bipedal creatures. So I'm all in on a giant like that. And Sycho Sid, he's not so bad himself in his own special way. And some interesting stuff about both of these, as variance, once again, is the name of the game here in Classic Superstars. But remember, we're going to do this like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. And in Sid's case, we're going to unbox it and talk about it. But we'll talk about Giant Gonzalez too. But of course, you know I have a loose one over here. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the hairy bipedal creature first. We might as well start with the old Giant Gonzalez. Beautiful, beautiful one in Series 16. I love giant figures, as I've said. I hope and pray one day Mattel can find a way to give us a Giant Gonzalez. I would love a brand new, updated version of Giant Gonzalez. A very, very cool looking figure all these years ago. Still very cool to this day. This is one of those figures loose you can still put in with your Mattels and it fits right in. Just a beautiful, beautiful figure. And of course, we did get another version of this with Harvey Whippleman, a very rare figure as well, Harvey Whippleman, as a Toys R Us 2-pack, Manager's 2-pack, which are always fun as well. And there's also talk of a South American bootleg version, off version. Not really sure where it lands on that. I don't know if we can call that quite the variant yet. Everything I've heard is most people have got them without the heads, then they had to grab one of these, grab a head off of, but it's a lighter version of Giant Gonzalez, and it looks to be the 2-pack version. So not exactly sure what the story is with that, but if you guys know more, please let me know. And if you got one, reach out to your old boy Kyle. I would love to get one for my personal collection if that is a possibility. But let's take a look at the packaging on Giant Gonzalez. Look at that. Big, big figure. Even bent at the knees to fit in the package. You guys know I love that. Beautiful, beautiful. On the side, Giant Gonzalez, of course. Looking good on the side over there. And I remember when he first debuted as Elegante when I was a kid. Thought it was the craziest thing ever. As you guys know, my dad is a giant of himself. He's 6'8". And I remember yelling to my dad, "Dad, you got to see this guy. He's way taller than you are." So just remember those things when you're a kid, I guess. Got the big cross cell here. We'll be talking about all those guys in other videos as well. UPC's warnings, tail of the tape, the blurb, and then the beautiful glamour shot on old Giant Gonzalez. See what it says here. Debuted 1989, 435 pounds, height 7'7", finishing move, the old choke slam. Just an absolute fabulous figure here. And I talked about that variant of, I believe, the 2-pack version. Well, there is a variant of this one as well. A 1 of 500 variant. And of course, I do have that very handy right here. Being a Giant Gonzalez connoisseur, I have to have this in my collection, of course. But 1 of 500 edition. I don't know whoever claimed it was 500. I never heard that from Jax, but that's been the word forever, so I guess we will go with that. But there he is, and he does have real fur. That is the difference. I'm sure they shaved him down at one time and they put it into the figure, just like George Animal Steel, or totally different than that. But he does have fur around the forearms. He's got a fur diaper on, because why wouldn't you? And then he's got fur on the boots. That is the difference between these. But very, very cool idea. You guys know I'm all for the real fur going on. Got to have both these in the collection, as you guys know. But we'll put him off to the side because I already do have him loose. And I've talked about this one before. Of course, his accessory, the iconic Jack's Classic Superstars, or Jack's in general. Ring bell, we got it with many figures. And for whatever reason, they felt, you know, Giant Gonzalez, you know what he needs? He needs that ring bell. Let's get him that ring bell. Whatever. Okay, it works. But man, a big, big figure that just towers over everything else. Like I said, looks fabulous with your Mattel figures. Looks great with those. Scales just perfectly. Just an awesome one. Of course, it's got the body, you know, the bodysuit Giant Gonzalez used to wear. We got that depicted here. We do got the painted on fur in this edition. I believe if you open that one up and you took the fur off, you would have the painted fur underneath. I would have to believe with that. They got the big head here, the big beard going on. That's what separates him from being elegante, of course, is the big beard there. But he's got the beard, the long hair, the mullet. Just awesome looking figure. Love the big open hand. Love the clawing hand. Just great for choke slams, claws, pickups, stuff like that. You guys know I just love big figures. And this just looks so cool in hand. This is a must-have, and this one has been skyrocketing in value the last few years because we don't get any Giant Gonzalez figures. We got this Jakks one. Before that, Hasbro, of course, another great figure. But after that, it's just been nothing. And I got to think there's got to be a way to get him in figure form again. We know he has passed on. We know his family doesn't do the best down there in Argentina. They could probably really use that money. So I don't know what the disconnect is from them getting an action figure from Mattel or any of the other toy companies that are making toys, because I think there's a lot of us out there that want some more Giant Gonzalez figures. There's no denying 100% of the people watching this video would buy a Mattel Elite Giant Gonzalez. Bet the house on it. Bet the house on it. But it stands really good, of course. Just a very big figure that looks really good. I got an X-Pac figure right here from Series 16 as well. We can kind of check a little of that height difference. Look at that height difference there. How cool is that? Awesome. Just beautiful. Beautiful thing. Articulation-wise, his articulation, though, is the same as everybody else's. Arms do go around. You do got a bicep cut. You do got a single jointed elbow. Hands back and forth, up and down. Head side to side. Waist side to side. Legs, get a pretty good split for a giant, for sure. And then you do get the single jointed knees and the ankles up and down. So that's all you really get with old Giant Gonzalez. But man, still a very cool figure. One that I absolutely love. A favorite in my collection for sure. And like I said, I hope we get more Giant Gonzalez figures one day. Hopefully, fingers crossed, as I knock some stuff over. That's what happens sometimes here at the channel. But there's Giant Gonzalez. Now we turn our attention, speaking of variants, one of the most confusing variants of all time, one of the craziest variants of all time, comes to us with this Sycho Sid figure in Series 16. Now, there are technically 4 versions of the Sycho Sid. Yes, you heard that right. So, of course, Sycho Sid in the package here. He does come with the WWE Winged Eagle title belt. So you can see in this is the one I'm going to open here today. He comes with the Winged Eagle, and you've got the Winged Eagle belt down at the bottom of the package. Now, there is a variant of this where the Winged Eagle is up a little higher here. So that is the difference. There's 2 figures right there. Well, then you add from there is a version of this Sid that has knee pads with the title belt down below. And there's also another version with knee pads with the title belt up high. So 4 different Sycho Sid figures. I do have them in my collection. Just very confusing. Really just for the most diehard of diehard fans do you need these many variants of the Sycho Sid figure. It does look plain Jane here. The ones with the knee pads are a little bit rarer. I do believe those were UK based for the most part. Europe and stuff like that. We do see some of those in America, but they have crossed the border, I think, for the most part. But it seems like primarily over the years, there could be some instances where not, but the knee pad ones did go overseas for the most part. But crazy, wild variants there. If you're a hardcore variant chaser downer, sure, why not? You got to have all 4 of these, and that's what I have to do in my collection as well. As you guys know, I'm just crazy about the Jakks Class Superstars line. But let's look at this Sid figure here. Sid with no knee pads right there. Looking good. He's got his vest on. He's got his boots, and he's got a big smile going on. He's just happy to be here. Old Sycho Sid on the side. And there he is on the other side. And on the back of the package, we've got the cross-sell, we got the warnings, got the UPCs, got the blurb, got the tail of the tape, and we got the glamour shot for old Sid. Let's read the back, see what it says about old Sid. Debuted 1987, 317 pounds, height 6'9". Finishing move, the power bomb. And he may be the first guy I saw really do the power bomb as a finisher. I could be wrong, but I just remember Sid's power bomb just looking absolutely devastating back in the day. I loved him with the skyscrapers, of course. I loved him in the Horsemen. We know what happened with him and Arn Anderson. If you don't know that story, you better look that one up. But Sid, I always liked more in WCW than I liked him in the WWE, WWF at the time. He just didn't fit that. For some reason, for me, it just didn't work over there. I don't know what it was. Of course, his return to WCW I thought was fairly good. Of course, that knee injury, leg injury where he broke his leg, woof, that was rough. I loved him in ECW, just one of those cool things in ECW, one of those you never know what's going to happen things in ECW. Titles, WWE Champion, WCW Champion, United States Champion. I'd have to look that one up. I can't remember who he beat for the United States Champion. But anyways, there's Sid on the back. Let's open him up. See what all the fuss is about with Sid. And let me tell you, there's fuss. Oh, there's fuss in the variant communities, that's for sure. We're going to get Sid out of the package. There it is. See you later. Goodbye. And Sid in the plastic prison. Look at him there. Just looking only like he could look in Classic Superstars Series 16. Pop that belt out. Pop Sid out. Off to the races. See you later. All right, the Winged Eagle title belt. As usual, not my favorite style, the Classic Superstars belts. I prefer the Deluxe Classics, but as far as classic belts go, this is one of my favorite ones. The big gold and this, I think, represent the best, look the most accurate. A lot of them, you can't even tell what they are. You got to really stare at them. This, you know what it is right off the bat, so that is very good for that belt. Then you get Sid here, and thankfully no sticky disease. I was anticipating this vest to be pretty sticky. It is not, so I'm all in on that. Vest looks a little bit short on Sid. Maybe they should have got a little longer one for sure. But it is what it is. I do hate the painted on kind of arm sleeve here. I guess that makes sense, though. They didn't make arm sleeves as accessories back in this day. But it does always look a little goofy to me. He does got the white wrist tape. Of course, there is Sid with and without knee pads, as we explained. I do have a fodder pile full of extra knee pads. I will be adding knee pads to this Sid. I just feel it needs to be done. I feel it looks really plain and really strange not having knee pads. Maybe that's me. But I remember him wearing knee pads, I'm pretty sure. It just looks strange. It just looks off without them. It looks like something is missing. But Sid here, it's a good face for Sid. I'm fairly certain if you gave me just his head, I would know it's Sid. I'd say that's a weird looking Sid. He's a little weird in the mouth and nose area, but it looks enough like Sid, especially with the hair and the curl going on. It looks like Sid to me for sure. And besides that, black trunks, black boots, kind of is what it is there, but a good looking Sid figure. Let's stand him next to the Giant. So you can kind of see a little scale difference here. And of course, we've talked about scale a lot on the Jax videos. Scale wasn't really a thing for the most part. So 6'9", 7'7". This is probably pretty close, though, actually. So they do look okay together to me. But all day long, if I had to choose between these two figures, Giant Gonzalez gets the Duke all day long. One of the greatest figures of all time in the Jax line. Got to get one in Mattel. Fingers crossed that happens one day. We'll see what happens. And heck, for Sid, we'll take some more Sid figures as well. We have recently got some from Mattel. We got the one in the ref shirt, of course, from a year ago, SummerSlam. I think it was 2021 SummerSlam set. But more Sids, the better, if you ask me. I could see him going into the Greatest Hits line one of these days, or even maybe back to the Legends line. That could be a possibility for Sid. It'd be nice to get that blue trunked attire from his early WWF run as a Elite. We did get it in the basic form back in the day. An Elite version would be pretty cool for that Sid. So there it is. Any thoughts from you guys out there in YouTube land about these two? What do you guys think about Sid and Giant Gonzalez? Leave it in the comments down below. Of course, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. Don't forget about the Patreon where you get this video months earlier than traditional YouTube, bonus content, exclusive content, and monthly giveaways over there on the Patreon. So definitely check that one out. Don't forget to follow along on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. So for Jax Class Superstars, Sycho Sid, and Giant Gonzalez, I'm Kyle. I'll see you guys all real soon.